Elizabeth Woodville. Born 1437, die on June 8, 1492, later known as Dame Elizabeth Grey, was Queen of England from her marriage to King Edward IV on May 1, 1464 until Edward was deposed on October 3, 1470, and again from Edward's resumption of the throne on April 11, 1471 until his death on April 9, 1483. She was a key figure in the Wars of the Roses, a dynastic civil war between the Lancastrian and the Yorkist factions between 1455 and 1487. At the time of her birth, Elizabeth's family was of middle rank in the English social hierarchy. Her mother, Jacquetta of Luxembourg, had previously been an aunt by marriage to King Henry VI, and was the daughter of Peter I, Count of St. Pol. Elizabeth's first marriage was to a minor supporter of the House of Lancaster, John Grey of Groby. He died at the Second Battle of St. Albans, leaving Elizabeth a widowed mother of 2 sons. Elizabeth's second marriage to Edward IV became a cause célèbre. Elizabeth was known for her beauty but came from minor nobility with no great estates, and the marriage took place in secret. Edward was the first king of England since the Norman conquest to marry one of his subjects, and Elizabeth was the first such consort to be crowned queen. Her marriage greatly enriched her siblings and children, but their advancement incurred the hostility of Richard Neville, Earl of Warwick, the Kingmaker, and his various alliances with the most senior figures in the increasingly divided royal family. This hostility turned into open discord between King Edward and Warwick, leading to a battle of wills that finally resulted in Warwick switching allegiance to the Lancastrian cause, and to the execution of Elizabeth's father, Richard Woodville, and her brother, John, by Warwick in 1469. After the death of her husband in 1483, Elizabeth remained politically influential even after her son, briefly proclaimed King Edward V of England, was deposed by her brother-in-law, Richard III. Edward and his younger brother Richard both disappeared soon afterwards, and are presumed to have been murdered. Elizabeth subsequently played an important role in securing the accession of Henry VII in 1485. Henry married Elizabeth's eldest daughter, Elizabeth of York, which ended the Wars of the Roses and established the Tudor dynasty. Through her daughter, Elizabeth Woodville was a grandmother of the future Henry VIII. Elizabeth was forced to yield preeminence to Henry VII's mother, Lady Margaret Beaufort. Her influence on events in these years, and her eventual departure from court into retirement, remain obscure. Elizabeth Woodville died at Bermondsey Abbey on June 8, 1492. With the exception of the Queen, who was awaiting the birth of her 4th child, and Cecily of York, her daughters attended the funeral at Windsor Castle, and of York, the future wife of Thomas Howard, Catherine of York, the future Countess of Devon, and Bridget of York, a nun at Dartford Priory. Elizabeth's will specified a simple ceremony. The surviving accounts of her funeral on June 12, 1492 suggest that at least one source clearly felt that a queen's funeral should have been more splendid, and may have objected that Henry VII had not been fit to arrange a more queenly funeral for his mother-in-law, although simplicity was the Queen Dowager's own wish. A letter discovered in 2019, written in 1511 by Andrea Badower, the Venetian ambassador in London, suggests that she had died of plague, which would explain the haste and lack of public ceremony. Elizabeth was laid to rest in the same chantry as her husband King Edward IV in St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Thanks for watching HerStory channel. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe our channel.